Good evening. A new episode of Real Cases Detective and Made to Kill series, the series in which we return to the most famous serial killers in the world. And today, we return to one of the most famous of them, perhaps the most famous. His crimes were so strange that a series was produced about him by the global platform Netflix. This series, the series that achieved record viewing rates in more than 70 countries, Dahmer, that is its name, a series that goes back to the story of tonight's episode character, Jeffrey Dahmer. Between 18 years and 31 years old, he committed a series of brutal, strange, astonishing crimes. He left nothing he didn't do to his victims, filming them, killing them, then eating their flesh. For this reason, in this episode, I especially want to warn sensitive-hearted people, and especially warn if there are children watching the episode, and that the content in particular of this episode is directed to adults and cannot be accepted by everyone because it is somewhat difficult content, although I will make sure to try to narrate to you what happened without entering into many disturbing details. If you are ready, fasten your seatbelts and welcome to this new episode of Made to Kill, the Jeffrey Dahmer's episode. Our story begins in the summer of 1991. We are located in the United States of America, specifically in Wisconsin and Milwaukee, in this place which was known to have a very high crime rate and also a very high poverty rate. We are therefore in one of the saddest neighborhoods you can find in the United States. We are in one of the bars located there. 3 friends, 3 men, are sitting and chatting, and suddenly another man in his 30s entered. I present to you Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey works in a blood center, specialized in blood donation and blood analysis, and in his free time he always wanders from bar to bar almost. He found these young men sitting, sat next to them, began to drink his beverage and began trying to chat with them. Little by little, he started talking to them until he invited them to come to his home to continue the evening. But the invitation didn't please them much. They had no reason to go to the house and preferred to continue their evening in that bar. Jeffrey insisted, especially when he told them that he was passionate about photography, passionate about photographing human bodies. He loves photographing people's bodies, and especially men's bodies. You could say he was passionate about abstract art. The story didn't convince them that much, or at least didn't convince them all, because only one of them agreed. He agreed after Jeffrey suggested he would pay him money. "You will come so I take 3 or 4 photos of you, and I will pay you after that. I will pay you $50. Tracy Edwards, whom we are talking about, was not one of the refusals. On the contrary, he said it was a good opportunity, 1 or 2 hours to take some photos. We are in the 90s. $50 was not a small amount in the poverty of that neighborhood for a person with 6 children to feed. So he decided to go with him. They went to Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment 213, located in an old, miserable, somewhat gloomy building. They went up to the apartment, arrived at the door. Mr. Jeffrey opened the door. When he entered, Tracy was shocked by the smell he smelled in the apartment. "What is this foul smell?" he asked. A smell that he couldn't identify, but that was unbearably strong and unimaginable. What do you have in the house causing these smells? Don't worry. I have a little meat, or rather, a lot of meat actually. My father sent it to me some days ago, but it remained outside the refrigerator and we are in July, so it rotted and stank. I didn't take it out or throw it away yet, but I will do that later. Okay, at least open the window so we can breathe. No, leave the window. The neighbors will be annoyed by that. Should I turn on the AC? What can the AC do with this smell and the window closed? Just forget the smell. It will disappear. You'll get used to it. Come sit, take this and drink. He took out a beer can and gave it to Tracy to start drinking and sat. Okay, let's do these photos and let me go on my way, said Tracy. Yes, wait a bit, we will do that, of course. Just give me some time. Drink your drink slowly and we will take the photos. He gave him the first drink, then the second, and began to ask him, "How are you? Are you okay?" "Yes, fine. I'm just waiting." "When will we start taking these photos?" "Come on, you're late. Let's shoot and so I can leave." "Okay, wait. We'll take the photos. Let's continue drinking a bit. Take this drink too." From one glass to another and from bottle to bottle, he kept asking, "How are you? Are you okay?" Until he began to see him relax and his eyes began to close little by little. While he was in that state, Jeffrey Dahmer took handcuffs and put them on Tracy's hands. Tracy's eyes opened wide, and he was aghast and said to Jeffrey, "What is wrong with you? What are you doing?" "Shh, not a word, since we will be taking photos." "Come on, start to take off your shirt." Terror began to take hold of Tracy, and sweat poured from everywhere. He didn't exactly understand this man whose eyes and gaze began to change. He didn't know what was happening. He began to recall what he had seen and experienced since they first entered the apartment, because he noticed that Jeffrey was locking door latches. 3 latches he locked. He thought it was normal, but it later appeared to be abnormal things waiting for him. Indeed, after removing his shirt, Jeffrey took a knife, a large knife, and asked him to go to the bedroom. In the bedroom, Tracy began to see strange, astonishing paintings in the room. Pictures of bodies that had been photographed, images of human torsos, one with blood and another with blood beside it. At the edge of the room, he saw a blue barrel. The closer he approached, the stronger the smell became. What did the barrel contain? "Sit. Sit on the bed." He sat on the bed and Jeffrey began to hear Tracy's heart. "Why are your heartbeats so fast? Are you scared?" "No, there's nothing to fear. In a little while I will cut your chest open, I will take your heart, I will cook it, then I will eat a bit from it." Thus, Jeffrey Dahmer told Tracy Edwards. I will not tell you everything that followed these statements. Mr. Tracy's position at the time. I do not want to ask you to imagine even a quarter of the position that he was in, but he controlled himself. At first, he would try to react reflexively, but when he found Jeffrey moving everywhere holding the knife, he tried to restrain himself and remained complying and acting under Jeffrey's desires and requests. Come here and go there. Jeffrey began photographing him while he followed his instructions until Tracy seized a moment of inattention and hit Jeffrey on the head with both hands and ran toward the door that was locked by the 3 latches, and started to open the latch, turning it, until Dahmer chased him, trying to prevent him from opening the remaining latches. Tracy struck him another blow with whatever he found in his hands by the door. Dahmer fell. He opened the door and fled and began to run, running like a madman, wearing only pants, both hands cuffed, running and yelling until he encountered a patrol. He was between talking and crying and screaming, and did not know what had happened to him a few seconds ago, and told them, "There is a criminal. He wanted to eat me." The security patrol, which included police officers, accompanied Tracy back to the scene, and they visited the apartment 213. Jeffrey Dahmer opened the door as if nothing had happened. "Yes? Good evening. Can I help you with something?" "This gentleman was with you and came to complain to us about what you did with him," they said. Jeffrey looked at Tracy and said, "Ah, of course. Yes, my friend, we were together indeed. Perhaps you know, officer, we drank a lot and so on." Tracy began shouting and screaming, and asked the officers to go in and see the apartment. Under the pressure exerted by Tracy, the officers asked Jeffrey, "Could we check your apartment? He says you have suspicious things, smells, blood, and weird pictures." At first, he strongly refused and said, "You have no right. You have no right to enter my home, and you don't have permission to search." But afterwards, the two were able to enter the room and discovered that the apartment was in fact a slaughterhouse. Many massacres had been committed there. Many people have been killed. Jeffrey will be arrested on the spot, and all the media outlets will mobilize almost immediately. That night, on July 22, 1991, America will come to know one of the biggest criminals in its history.